Hello and welcome back for another Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the board game playthrough. This time I've selected a custom scenario, which was not created by me, but I went to Discord, Archon's Discord server, and searched for some maps, and this one I particularly liked. The name of the map is Comfortably Numb, and this is a solo game as usual on this channel, and we are going to play it on hard difficulty because I'm not sure of the balance of this map. So first we're gonna try with hard, and if it becomes particularly easy, or maybe we need to turn up the challenge mode, then next time I will play it on impossible difficulty. But because it's an unknown map for me, so I never played this map, I don't know the storyline, which I think can be rather interesting. So because of that particular reason, I decided to go on hard difficulty first, and then let's see where it leads to us. So in this scenario, what's very challenging or very unique at least is that we start with the castle town here on the map, but we can also have access to necropolis units. So we are somewhat necromancer ourselves. We are with Lord Hart. He's our primary hero. I prepared his necropolis version as well, but I think it will not be used. So he will not going to evolve. He's not going to evolve to his necromancer version. But the town is there. And if you take a look at the map, this is the castle map. This is the necropolis tile, which cannot be discovered until a certain part of the story has been reached. And then there are two far tiles, one near tile and one center tile with a Dragon Utopia. And the victory condition for this unique scenario is that we need to put our faction cube on the Dragon Utopia field before the end of turn 14. So we have 14 turns to finish the job. Our starting units are few halberdiers and pack marksmen, but at certain points we will be able to hire, as you can see there, necropolis creatures as well. Although until we flag the necropolis town, we cannot use its town actions. So for now, we can only build things and hire things from, we can only build things in the castle town. If we lose units, castle units, we can recruit or reinforce necropolis units. So that's one special thing. And the other one, Lord Hart normally would start with specialty estates and estates basic skill. But that estate basic skill or starting ability, sorry, that's the word I was looking for. The starting ability has been replaced by necromancy and leadership. But let's go through the rules before we jump into this. So I'm going to show you the special setup. So comfortably numb. Tired after fighting for in both of the succession wars, you leave Era in hope of a new beginning. The fiefdom they awarded for you, however, is hers by a zealous alliance. This is the map layout, which we already took care of. And there will be one far tile with a castle settlement. The near tile will not have an obelisk, and there will be one far tile with underground terrain texture. Starting resources will be 5 gold, 2 building material, and 1 valuable. And the income, as you can see, 10 gold, 0 building material, 0 valuable. No buildings in the castle town. Mage Guild and Necromancy Amplifier built in the Necropolis town, but we can only use the Necromancy Amplifier, which is at the beginning of your turn, choose one, search the ability card deck for a Necromancy card and put it in your hand, or take one specialty card from your discard pile to your hand. So yeah, at the beginning of your turn. So after we dealt with the turn to your card limit kind of first part, then we can draw an ability card for necromancy, or we can take back our specialty, which is still a state, so still providing us gold. Although I'm not sure if Heart can allow you any scenario bonuses. In this particular case, I will not do any scenario bonus, so whatever you see here will be our starting resources. So prepare Necropolis faction cubes. We are going to use these little tokens here. Whenever we get our second negative morale, we need to put Necropolis faction cube on the town board of the castle town. And also if we are hiring Necropolis creatures, we also need to put a faction cube. I'm not sure what point of this, but probably will be revealed later. Add the necromancy and leadership abilities to your starting deck. So this is our starting deck: leadership, necromancy here, 1 magic arrow because Lord Hart is a might hero, specialty level 1, gain 2 gold for estate, 2 attack, 2 defense, 1 spell power, 1 knowledge stat cards. The top of the discard pile for spell, artifact and ability is Inferno, Spirit of Oppression and Diplomacy. Inferno is particularly interesting to do some damage. Spirit of Oppression thematically fits well to the Necropolis kind of theme, but can't really use because it is going against another hero to use token, positive morale token, or reroll attack dice while use. And Diplomacy can be interesting. We can draw neutral cards and decide if we want to hire them. We can also skip combat on expert level. We start on level 1, our hand limit will be 4. So let's shuffle this and then let's draw 4 cards. After that we can check on the additional scenario rules. There will be also some timed events. So there will also be some timed events which are mapped. So 1, 9, and at the end of 14, which is the end of the scenario. And then 4th and 8th round, the black cubes will be removed from the already visited places. During this scenario, you cannot discover the starting tile, which is this one. It can only be discovered through a special event. Whenever you would gain your second negative morale token, don't discard cards from your hand at the end of your turn. Instead, put a Necropolis faction cube on your castle town board immediately. You can use the effect of Necromancy Amplifier from the beginning of the game. You cannot use other Necropolis building like Mage Guild and cannot build the Necropolis town until you have flagged it. After any battle, if one or more of your non-Necropolis units' HP is reduced to 0, including flipping back units to their few side, you may recruit or reinforce that amount of bronze Necropolis unit. This is not for free, so you still need to pay that amount of gold. If you do gain 1 negative morale, you gain only 1 regardless of how many units you have recruited or reinforced. And of course, if that's your second negative morale, you need to do the faction cube kind of thing on this castle board. You can only reinforce a unit by using a population token in your town with the citadel if the unit matches the faction with the town with the citadel. So if we build the citadel in the castle town, we will not be able to reinforce with town action the necromancer units, Necropolis units. You can use the necromancy ability only to recruit or reinforce Necropolis units. When you do, you gain 1 negative morale. Win conditions: if your faction cube is placed on Dragon Utopia, the game ends, and you win the scenario. Sorry, a bit clumsy here. I mentioned the timed events, which are New Moon, and then there will be parts that we need to read. Okay, so let's see. Our starting deck will be defense, spell power, knowledge, and leadership. So no spell, which means these 2 cards for now is pretty pointless, but leadership can be good to gain a positive morale token. As it stands, I don't know why it's bad to put a faction cube on the castle town, so I don't know how much I need to avoid that, but keep in mind that leadership can help avoiding that situation. So probably that's the reason why it's here. The movement points are standard. So primary heroes get 3, secondary 2. We don't have secondary heroes, so you can see that right now we have 3 movement points available. We don't have a mage guild, so town actions we can build, we can hire, but no mage actions for now. And the Necropolis town don't have town actions available. So let's read the first section. Read this section at the beginning of round 1. Half-mast parade. Those must be the walls of Brighthelm, my lord, said Sir Gareth Graves, your most trusted guard. A spray of cold water stung your face as your boat drew closer to the city, which sprawled along the riverbank, its white walls gleaming in the afternoon sun. Brighthelm was your reward, a chance to escape the endless wars that had ravaged Anloth. Your gaze snagged on a lone, ominous tower atop a mountain at the border of the town. Pulsating red energy crackled around its peak. That must be a part of the ancient necropolis, Garrett rumbled. Most of it is deep beneath the city, laying undisturbed for centuries. As you dug, cheers erupted from the assembled crowd. A woman in gold-sewn robes strode forward, a wide smile splitting her face. Lord Hart, I, High Priestess Genevieve, welcome you to your new home. The following hours were a blur of jubilation. Market stalls overflowed with vibrant goods, and laughter filled the air. Soldiers paraded, their banners snapping in the breeze. As you walk between saluting troops to inspect the town proper, an armored Templar suddenly draws their sword, charges at you, but becomes pierced by a hailstorm of crossbow bolts. With their last breath, you hear them whisper, Death to the bringer of blight. As the armored body collapses, their helmet rolls to your feet, revealing emptiness. The armor is empty. Genevieve, her smile strained, ushers you into her study. Troubling business, my lord. Whispers travel fast. Some rumors precede you. Your alleged association with necromancy. Of course, she soothed. We, people of Brighthelm, believe nothing of the sort. Okay, that's where we start. So there were some disturbance upon our arrival by an empty armor. Probably dark magic was used to bring life to that armor. And now we use this little hero model starting in the town. And now we need to decide of where to go. We have 3 movement points. And let's check the hard difficulty table. So on hard level 1, enemy is 2 bronze opponent with these cards. Defense can be used, so it will not be the most pleasant of fights. We can use the necromancy amplifier. So theoretically, we could add a necromancy card to our hand. Question, do we want that? The necromancy amplifier allows you to put a necromancy card to your hand, which can allow you to hire or reinforce, I think, necropolis units. We have 5 gold. So let's check. Pack skeletons are 2. And, few skeletons are 2 gold. Packed would mean 5. Few zombies are 3 gold. So all in all, for 5, we could afford skeletons and zombies to add to our army. That could be one option if we use the necromancy amplifier. If I remember correctly, the necromancy card. So I think let's do that. So let's search for a necromancy card. There it is. But okay, we can only do that after winning a combat. Okay, so necromancy. Play after winning combat. Other than quick combat, you can reinforce a bronze or silver unit of your choice for half the cost, but only for necromancy cards. So in order to use this, we would need to lose halberdiers, for example, and then we could recruit after the battle skeletons, and then we could use this card to reinforce skeletons for half the cost rounded down. So basically for 1 gold we could reinforce them. Still not pointless to use this, but will not help with the first fight. And still I'm not sure if we need to avoid the negative morale situation. I don't know the consequences. It's a bit difficult to judge at this point of what will be the consequences if we keep collecting negative morale. But I guess Lord Hart will be shifted to like necromancer version of his, probably. I don't know. I've never played this. It's brand new. Let's remove this little cube here because we already read the first thing, and then let's make a decision. So here we are in the center of this tile. We cannot discover the necropolis town until we reach a certain point. So I think yeah. Questions: can we collect 5 more gold? Then secondary hero could take care of this later. Let's see the building action. So in order to build the bronze dwelling, which is towers, that is 5 gold, 3 building material and 1 valuable. So we cannot do that at this point. That would require more building material, 1 more. If we build the towers, then we would be run out of gold, so we couldn't hire the griffins for 4. But technically, maybe that would be the best way to do this. Try to collect more building materials. Let's see our casualties. Let's try to reinforce our units with necropolis units if needed, and then let's try to collect more gold to be able to hire the griffins as well and reinforce our team. So because of that, our first movement point will be spent here. We need additional valuable, so additional building material, sorry. So on hard, that means our opponent will be 2 bronze units. I'm not particularly happy with our cards because we have some spell cards which we can't use. Maybe the leadership card can be some help in case we need to draw another card. Let's keep that in our mind, actually here. And then let's see our opponent. So we have Evil Eyes, one of the more dangerous bronze units, and Wraiths. Both of them are actually dangerous, so this will not be a nice fight, especially if we consider that Wraiths are faster than us. So definitely need the leadership, first of all. That's an immediate one, so we can use it. I move it to the discard pile. We get a positive morale token, which I'm immediately using to draw a card. Okay, that's an attack card. Now, the Wraiths are going to attack Halberdiers. And let's see what are the options. If they roll a +1, they could wipe out Halberdiers. I want to avoid that. So just checking what is the best way using it now, preventing a 33% chance. Or actually, Eagle Eyes need to roll a -1. So not to roll a -1 is 44% chance. They have 55% chance because of the combat penalty when they shoot on the marksman to roll a -1 at least. So yeah, it's better to use on the Halberdiers. So Wraiths are going to attack, 2 attack, 3 attack versus 2 defense, 1 damage goes in. It's a good thing that we actually played this. And now Halberdiers can retaliate, 2 attack, 3 attack. So Wraiths are almost wiped out. We need to continue that attack with the Halberdiers because otherwise Wraiths would heal themselves. Now there is an initiative tie. Evil Eyes have 6 and Marksmen have 6, but we are the attackers. So Marksman are going to shoot, and we need to induce 4 damage. And if we roll a -1, for which we have 55% chance, then obviously no damage would go into the evil eyes. So I'm going to use my attack here. Marksmen have special ability. If a target is a non-adjacent unit, attack this target again. So first, with free attack, this is only for the first shot. For free attack, we are going to roll 0 actually. So 2 damage goes in because evil eyes have 1 defense. So the attack card is not used. And now, if we are not rolling a -1, we can wipe out the evil eyes. With a -1, no additional damage would go in. That's a 0 once again. So we are lucky. 2 versus 1 defense, so 1 damage goes in. That's enough to wipe out the evil eyes before they activate. And the last unit to activate in this first round is Halberdiers. They are going to attack the Wraiths, but Wraiths don't have any defense, so whatever we roll, which is a +1, 2 + 1, 3, versus 0 defense, so 6 damage all in all to the Wraiths, but 4 is enough to kill them. We managed to do this with lucky rolls, actually. So we didn't have any casualties. We can't use the special scenario feature in this combat, but play after winning combat other than quick combat, you can reinforce bronze or silver unit of your choice. But again, we don't have Necropolis units yet, therefore we can't use this card yet. However, we can flag the mine, which increases our income to 2. We also get, as we are the first one to flag them, we also get 2 building materials. And now we can buy the towers, which we will buy. So 5 gold, 3 building material, and 1 valuable will go into this. And let's find the towers. We will not have access to the blacksmiths. So on this end, on this side, we can put it down. For 4 gold, we have the option to hire the griffins. Before we do that, we managed to successfully fight ourselves through this combat. So we are going to half 1.5 level now. So half level up. And we still have 2 movement points to spend. The question is, do we want to engage ourselves with another level 1 enemy? I mean, there are 2 things that we need to consider first. We don't have cards we can use, so that's definitely a con. Pro side, we managed to defeat 2 very dangerous bronze units. So technically, with a lucky draw, we could fight ourselves through into rounds. But I go with the safer option. So we're spending 2 movement points to roll a resource die, which is 2 more valuables. I would have preferred gold, but it is what it is. We have 3 building materials. Sorry, I said valuables. We got 2 more building materials. So now we have 3 building materials, no gold, no valuable. And this is how we are going to end our turn, I believe. Our card limit, our hand limit is still 4 cards. What I'm going to do, I'm going to discard Necromancy. Will not use it for now. So I will be able to draw 2 cards. Magic Arrow, which will be useful, and another Necromancy. And we move to turn 2, which regenerates our movement points, and which leads to the first Astrologer's Proclaim card. Proclaim, Week of the Scorched Ground. Until the next Astrologer's round, all spells from the Earth Magic and Fire Magic schools are cast at a +1 spell power. Putting it here, that will boost our Magic Arrow because that belongs to every school. So yeah, that's not a bad thing. We forgot to flip down the build token in the castle down, but that's not a problem because now we're round 2, so We could flip it back, but technically we don't have to. And now let's think. We have 3 movement points, so the organic way to handle this is reveal that tile, which may trigger some story event, and after that we can make a decision what to do with our last movement point, because 1 movement point is coming here. By the way, let's flag this. So we come here, that's 1 movement point, and another one to discover this tile. Let's see if this is the town or the underground. This is the underground. So let's read the relevant part. Okay. Read this section when a far tile with underground terrain is discovered. The hunt. Your soldiers invite you for a hunt this morning, mainly to explore the surrounding region. Distant snow-capped peaks point toward the clean azure sky, their foothills clothed in a verdant tapestry of ancient oaks. Rays of sunlight reach the forest floor through the canopy, illuminating vibrant wildflowers. A glint catches your eye amidst the trees. Roll a treasure die, consult the table below, then gain the road bonus. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's experience. Drawn by a stray beam reflecting off a ruby pendant, you stumble upon a straying griffin preening its feathers, its ancient eyes imparting a forgotten knowledge. Suddenly, an emerald flash, a thunderous roar, a monstrous gorgon sprung out of the thicket, its deadly gaze looking onto you. Just as it would gore you, Priestess Genevieve blasts it with an orb of pure energy. The beast's metallic carcass fell with a heavy thud. After inspecting it, Genevieve leans close to you, her voice dropping to a conspirational hush. These creatures, they must have come from a peculiar castle in the middle of a crater north of here. Unnatural events happen around it. It seems peace for you was but a fleeting dream. Okay. So we gain nothing. It's just a question of, like, the roll was only having an influence of what creature we are actually finding. So it was a griffin. So we discover this. We get to rotate as we like, or at least I didn't see any instruction to preventing us from doing that. So I prefer gold, therefore visiting the water wheel, and then next turn trying to access more gold could be a good way. So let's do that. So we're getting 3 gold. We're not gonna spend it because, let's be honest, we can't really spend it. And we are flagged this, which is also important. So at the beginning of round 4, let's say beginning of ending, but I think beginning, the new moon, the beginning of the 4th and 8th round, the black cubes will be removed. So we will have 1 more turn to visit these locations, and then the cubes will be removed, basically. So we can visit them again. So just one thing to keep in mind. Okay, I don't think there's anything else we could do in this particular turn. I'm wondering if we need the necromancy. I think some attack cards would be preferred at this point. So let's move to turn 3, which is a resource round. Draw to our card limit. Attack cards more than welcome. 3 movement points have been replenished, and we are going to get 10 gold, 2 building materials, and 1 valuable. No, sorry, 0 valuable. We don't have valuable production. Okay, so now we have 13 gold. The problem what we are facing is this. We either hire a secondary hero and then we cannot hire a creature, or we hire a creature like griffins, which is the only one for 4 gold, and then we cannot hire a secondary hero. But the reason why a secondary hero would be good to start dealing with this stuff here, but we are still not level 2, so this is not an auto combat, and I'm not sure if a secondary hero without cards would be able to do these fights alone versus 2 bronze units. And this particular water spring is what I'm looking at. Could be a good option for us. The only problem, the only price of it is like, one step we resolve this, second step we come here. If we need to extend this fight, we will not be able to visit the magical garden. But now we have good cards, we can cast a spell, it would be boosted, so I think this is the way. And then this means from 3 cards, we can, from the top 3 discard pile cards of our deck, we can put back 1 to our hand. So that's also something we can capitalize on. So step number 1, we are going to roll 2 treasure dice and experience our artifact. Okay, let's go with the experience. So now we are at level 2, which means we get an expert effect we can use later this turn, and also we can search the ability deck. So we either take diplomacy, which allows us to recruit units in the very same unit, in the very same turn when we are going to hire a secondary hero, or we can either skip combat with neutral units on the field, whose field difficulty is equal to your hero's level. I think this is a particularly useful card, so I'm going to go with it. Scholar would have been the other option, and we don't know the third card, but diplomacy I like. So now we are level 2, which means, first of all, we resolve this field. We don't need to visit now the water wheel, or that's not a water wheel, sorry, a magic spring, I think. Let's use the right word. Yeah, magic spring. Okay, so we don't need that to visit. For 10 gold, going to hire secondary hero. So let's flip this down. I didn't see any part of the scenario which would prohibit to have 2 heroes. So this hero spends 1 movement point to come here. Now we can put a black cube on this as well, which is important. And now, you know, this is the point where I usually jinx it. We should not roll experience, because secondary hero cannot go like that. It's an artifact. Okay, we don't need the Spirit of Oppression because it would be useful against another non-AI hero, or even an AI hero, but another hero which I'm not sure whether we will encounter. So let's search the artifact deck, and then let's see. So we have the endless bag of gold, gain 3 gold, or remove this card and gain 6. So basically 6 gold, because I would immediately remove this. Maybe, probably. Dragon Scale Shield gives you 2 attack or 2 defense, like a might card. Gold or power? Which one do we prefer at this point? Dragon Utopia will be a particularly tough enemy. And this is just gaining 3 gold or 6 gold ones, which can be substituted by a good resource die roll. So I go with the Dragon Scale Shield, but I'm not ruling out that the endless bag of gold will be picked up if I have the opportunity. So yeah, secondary hero has 2 movement points, from which one was spent, and the other one let's wait with that. Primary, actually, let's not wait with that. Let's see what this storyline brings for this. So let's reveal the grass. Terrain fertile. So let's read this section. Read this section when a fertile with grass terrain is discovered. Into the valley of the dead, you come upon a stone arch leading into a descending valley leading underground. The valley of the dead, my lord, Sir Garrett said. The entrance to the necropolis below Brighthelm. An unsettling quiet hung in the air, broken only by the nervous murmurs of local soldiers. They say the restless dead wander those ruins, my lord, muttered the young soldier, clutching his halberd tighter. Vengeful spirits guarding their treasures. A grizzled veteran scoffed. Nonsense, lad. Just whispers to keep the cowards in line. But what about the waning winds, Captain? They say it's the souls of the damned forever lost, said the young soldier with trembling voice. Sir Garrett snorted. Just the wind whistling through the rocks, nothing more. Your troops fell silent, awaiting your comments. Turn the necropolis starting tile face up. You must rotate it so the blocked field is rotated to one of the grayed out hexes shown on the map layout, and the only entrance into that tile is from the underground tile you just discovered. Well, we discovered the grass terrain, but okay, maybe that's just a tiny mistake, so probably we should have read this when we discovered the underground tile. Treat all neutral combat on the starter tile with the Necropolis Town as difficulty 4. The field with the Necropolis Town has a combat against neutral units with a difficulty of 4. When you flag the Necropolis Town, read the Gravedigger section. Okay, so let's reveal this one. So this is the Necropolis starting time. Rotate it to one of the grayed out hexes shown. Blocked field. This is the blocked field, and that was okay. If you go back, the grayed out fields like here, it's at the bottom. So either this or this, how we can rotate it, one of the options. And then it says, and the only entrance into that tile is from the underground tile you just discovered. Okay, so that gives us in a difficult position because we didn't discover the underground tile, but I believe we should have read this when the underground tile was discovered. So let's put it that way, that this connects to the underground tile, like this one. Okay, that makes sense. So treat all neutral combat on the starter tile with the Necropolis Town as difficulty 4. So these ones are difficulty 4, and these are also difficulty 4 neutral units, which we are definitely not ready to take, not yet. So now we need to check what to do with Lord Hart. We have one more movement point to spend. We have 2 bronze units. We cannot hire creatures at this point unless we use diplomacy, but 3 gold. Like, we have 1 dwelling, we could draw 1 neutral unit card, but the chance that we can actually afford it is pretty low. They're not going to use diplomacy at this point, which means we probably need to discard it because our hand limit is still 4 for the next round. Since the black cubes are going to be removed in the beginning of the next turn, I think the most obvious way to handle this situation, since we don't have valuable production, is to visit the magical garden. Sorry, I'm not entirely sure about the name. Mystical garden. Okay, So let's visit the mystical garden, our final movement point. Let's collect a valuable and let's put a back cube on it. And let's call it a day for round 3. So we are moving to round 4. Let's remove the black cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's remove this card from our hand and this card from our hand because the artifact is actually better. We don't need these anymore. Let's replenish movement points. And now we can hire for 3 gold, but once again we will be able to collect more gold as we continue our journey. And let's see what the astrologers proclaim. So this very good card unfortunately was not really used. It's the week of the dead silence. Nothing changes. Considering there are much worse cards in the pool, this is not bad. So let me drink for a minute and then let's consider how to proceed. Okay, so with Lord Hart, I think the situation is very simple. We need to recollect everything. We are in a very scarce resource situation. We have 3 gold, 5 building material, 1 valuable. By recollecting what we can from these 3 fields, basically, is the best course of action. The better question is what to do with the secondary hero. Because I think since this is going to happen, so let's see. If we reposition secondary hero to the underground area, that would mean 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's 3 rounds. That would mean round 7. And then the cube's going to be removed once again. So I think that's the best thing we can do. We can also reveal the near tile. That's not triggering any storyline, just to have more knowledge of what can be achieved with that. So yes, so that means let's resolve this field first once again. Auto combat, because we are level 2 and we can roll a treasure die. Please, please, no experience. And then we visit our town with the second movement. So unfortunately we gain nothing from this. Lord Hart revisits the mystical garden, gets another valuable, then comes here. No, we definitely want to not risk the experience situation once again. So let's roll 2 more treasure dice. Artifact or resource, let's take the endless bag of gold. And then let's remove it for 6 gold. I like 6 gold. That would be one of the best outcomes of the resource die. So this is why I went with it. It's up for a debate at this point whether we want to remove the endless bag of gold or just want it to come back for gaining 3 gold every time. But considering that Lord Hart's specialty is all about getting gold, our deck is already somewhat biased towards cards which are providing gold, which is not really useful in the combat. So this is the reason why I just immediately removed the card. So that was second movement, and third movement is to gain 3 more gold from the water wheel. Now let's review our situation with resources. Citadel would cost 8 gold, 5 building material and 1 valuable. We could afford it. City Hall which can generate 5 times 5 gold going forward, or 1 movement point, costs 10 gold for building material. We can also afford that. I think if we want to buy the city hall, now is the time, because it will be far less profitable in every other turn than compared to being built right now. Considering this is the 4th round and the 5th round will be a resource round. I really like that idea to purchase the city hall, so we're going to do that. It does not cost any valuable either. So 2 gold is back to our hand, and 4 building material is used. Not the gold dwelling, but the city hall. Okay, let's try not to forget it when the next round starts, which is pretty close, so hopefully it will not happen this time. Anything else we want to do? I think not. So round 4 is done. Round 5 is a resource round, so we can select +1 movement point or 5 gold. We go with the 5 gold option, so all in all we generate 15 gold and 2 building materials. We need 2 more building materials for the citadel, keep that in mind. Let's replenish the movement points, 3 and 2. Let's flip back the coin or token even. So our secondary hero is in the town at the moment. Secondary hero will come here and here, rolling something, hopefully some building materials if we want to buy the citadel. That would give us 6 more gold. Actually no, we have 17, so that would give us 11 more gold to strengthen our army. That's enough to buy reinforced griffins, for example, or buy few griffins and reinforced halberdiers. I think reinforced griffins are much better. Yeah, so that is enough to deal with 3 bronze units, I believe, with our cards. So secondary hero will end up here and then be ready to reveal this time. Lord Hart needs to go towards this field. There is one problem with this approach though. If I bring Lord Hart to this section, which I would prefer, to be honest. There's experience here. There is a settlement here. Then we will not be able to access the Necropolis town. So once again, we would need to come back here. So pathfinding and wings, angel wings would be or fly even, would be very useful in this particular case. Level 4, let's check on hard difficulty. Level 4 opponent, what does that mean? Level 4 means 3 silver. We don't need to rush this, but my fear is that the more we spend here, the less likely we reach the Dragon Utopia. But City Hall can help with that as well. If we are in difficult position, we can give ourselves +1 movement point. Maybe there will be other artifacts, or we have the stable there as well. So yeah, it's round 5. Because of the stable, effectively we can calculate with 4 movement points. So 4, 1 turn, 2 turn, 3 turn, 4 turn. So turn 9 we are back. Can we strengthen our position to be able to reach like level 4? If we do this fight versus 1 bronze, 2 silver, that's particularly tough. Level up us to level 3 immediately. Silver dwelling, holy grounds, 8 gold, 6 building material, and 3 valuables. Maybe that's a better approach. Or maybe we just need to keep losing units to get access to Necropolis creatures, I guess. We haven't used that option yet. I think we need to go to the, not the Citadel route, but the silver route. So we are going to go on the holy grounds, for which we need to collect 1 more valuable and 3 more building materials. I still feel we need to come back here and probably need to capture this as a valuable, maybe gold. There is no trading post either. 1 more valuable, surely we can collect here. In round 8, but that's maybe too late. So level 3, 1 bronze, 2 silver, we're definitely not ready yet. So we can't do anything with Lord Hart here. Maybe Lord Hart could go to the near tie, but it will generate some fights which we will not be able to take. So yeah, we must bring Lord Hart back, and then maybe we run out of time, I'm not sure, but let's try to do our best, and maybe let's try to use City Hall to compensate with movement points. So after all of these detours of thoughts, let's do the following. Lord Hart, 1, 2, 3 movement points spent. And secondary hero, 1 movement point. Let's see. 2 valuables. Okay. We are not worried about valuables anymore. At least not for now. And then other movement point is to come here. Next turn the secondary hero can reveal the far tile. So that was round 5. I don't want to discard my cards. Do I want to build anything? No, because I don't have enough building materials and I can't trade. So moving to round 6, which is an astrologers round. Until the next astrologers round, each hero gains +1 movement. Okay. That is certainly helpful. We were lucky. Let's try to use it for our advantage. So secondary hero spends 1 movement point to reveal this tile. I mean, Ballista would definitely help with some of our fights. Are we going to take a fight right now? Probably. So, oops, maybe this way. And this way means we are not closing ourselves off from the last time. We don't need to take any fight. So the ballista would cost 3 gold if it's purchased from the War Machine factory. So spending another movement point, we are going to pay 3 gold to purchase it. So our secondary hero has 1 more movement point to do. We will decide on that later. Lord Hart's situation is more exciting. So this is a free movement. and we still have 4 movement points to spend. We are level 2. Question is, do we want to fight for that artifact? I think not. So a level 3 fight would mean 1 bronze, 2 silver. We have 14 gold, but we don't have the citadel. So we can purchase griffins, and that's it. Are 3 units enough to... 3 bronze units are enough to deal with 1 bronze and 2 silver with these cards? That's the ultimate question. There is no way we could access more valuable, more building materials yet. One, two, 3 steps. We would have 2 rounds to particularly, or to actually fight against 1 bronze, 2 silver units, and we can extend that fight with 1 round. I don't think that's enough, not yet. We need to wait. So unfortunately, that extra movement point could only be useful to us if we try to go for the artifact. But if we go for the artifact, our very good hand would definitely be used. So can we do that fight versus 3 bronze unit that we are not really using these cards? Maybe if we let some of our units go and then hire Necropolis units instead. But that is costing gold. So let's see, next turn, I definitely want to purchase the... Can I purchase the Holy Grounds? That's the silver delling, but I will be still short of some building materials. And I don't have a trading post. I can't trade, that's a problem. If I can't reach the spring guitar. We need to go for the artifact. That's what I'm seeing from this, effectively. So yeah. 1. Let's have a fight versus 3 bronze units. Okay. And let's hope that artifact brings something really good. So before I do that, I'm going to hire griffins for 4. Okay, it's done. This unit can perform an unlimited number of retaliation attacks. Let's just keep that in mind. And then elves, mugogs, and harpies are particularly tough enemy. Fast and range units. So, and harpies ignore retaliation attack. Sorry, I wanted to purchase the ballista, by the way, not the first aid tent, so that costs 4 more gold. Sorry, that's an error on my end. So I spent 4 more golds, now we have the ballista. And I don't want the first aid tent. So at the beginning of each combat round, deal 1 damage to the enemy with the lowest initiative. That will be either the Magogs or the Elves. Because Elves have defense, I will put it on the Elves. And Harpies start the combat. I don't have... Actually, I can use this if I want to protect the Halberdiers. But I will use this later. So Harpies go... The closest bronze unit is Halberdiers. And now harpies are going to roll a -1. No retaliation attack, but no damage in this case, because 1 attack versus 1 defense. And can return to the space from which it moved. So +1 returns, -1 stays. 0 means reroll, +1 returns. 0 means reroll. Come on. -1 stays. So harpies stay there. Next fastest unit is griffins. We need to block, I think, the elves. We need to do 3 damage, and that would wipe them out. So 1, 2, 3. We are going to use the dragon scale shield. 4. So whatever I roll, which is a -1. 3 versus 1 defense. 2 damage goes in. Elves already have 1 damage, +2 is 3. So elves are taken out. Now we have an initiative tie. Marksman versus Magogs. Marksman activate first. And now we have a decision to make. Do we shoot on the Magogs with ranged penalty? Also we can cast a spell. Or are we trying to wipe out the harpies? Magogs can, when Magogs attack a target that is not adjacent to them, they also deal 1 damage to unit adjacent to the target. So Magogs, as it stands, would hurt halberdiers as well with 1 damage. So because of that, I would try to wipe them out if possible, but I don't think it's possible. But I mean, yes, it is. I can only deal 3 damage to them, and they have 4 hit points. Okay, so what we are going to do, we have 1 expert, which I'm going to use on knowledge, which is on expert, play this card after casting a spell. Instead of discarding the spell card, take it back into your hand, and your spell limit increases by 1. So I'm going to boost 1 spell power. That Asluja's card is no longer there. So 1 spell power boosts a magic arrow. So that's 1 damage. I'm using the expert on knowledge, so taking it back to my hand. 2 damage goes into the Magogs. And then I'm going to shoot the Magogs. Which means because I can shoot twice, since the target is a non-adjacent unit, I can wipe it out. So 1 damage goes in, that's 3, and another shot. 2 more damage, Magogs are defeated. And now halberdiers come. They are going to cast a magic arrow, or our hero, Lord Hart, is going to cast a magic arrow. 1 damage goes into the harpies, so that gives us a 33% chance to wipe out the harpies on the attack. Maybe the retaliation with a +1 roll, the harpies could actually wipe out the halberdiers. If they don't, we will not have any casualties, and at the beginning of the next combat round, Ballista will shoot the harpies, and that will be the end of them. So let's try to avoid, what I'm trying to say, let's try to avoid -1, and let's try to avoid +1 for the harpies. So halberdiers attack. +1, 3 damage goes in. That was a lucky roll. Harpies don't get the chance to retaliate. They are finished. Okay. I'm glad I purchased the ballista. That made a real difference for the elves. So we dealt with this fight without any casualties. That was a level 2 fight, so we are 2.5 level now, and we get to search the artifact deck. Discard 1 card to gain +3 defense, or gain +2 defense, Sentinel's Shield, or 2 defense immediately. Until the end of the combat, this unit suffers 1 attack. So immediate effect 2 defense, but in exchange, until the end of the combat, this unit suffers -1 attack to a minimum of 0, or get 1 defense. I mean, this card definitely overpowered compared to the buckler of the Null King. That's another question what I want to do with it. I didn't need to spend movement points to extend the fight. Now we are going to visit the Oracle Learning Stone, I think it's the real name. And that gives us an additional experience, half level experience. Now our hand limit is 5 and we are at level 3. We can either take the Scholar or we can search the ability deck. So Scholar means choose one card from your discard pile and add it to your hand, or remove up to 2 statistic cards from your hand or discard pile. Take up to 2 different empowered statistic cards and put them on top of your discard pile. Remove the Scholar. So the situation is this. I can't use the Scholar on Expert right now. I can use it on Basic, which would still be valuable. For example, I could take back the Dragon Scale Shield, combining with the Sentinel Shields that give us a very good might kind of deck. And later maybe I use it with an Expert. Yeah, that is one option. The other option is we go for another scale ability, even secondary skill, what I'm always trying to use, but it's an ability in this game. So we roll it and try to go for a better one, like learning, maybe. But actually I like Scholar. So let's see. Okay, Scouting would have been one of the other options. So choose one card from your discard and add it to your hand. I'm going to use Dragon Scale. I'm not going to use Magic Arrow because most of my magic cards are here and I can't put them back to my hand. So Magic Arrow in itself is not really a strong card in Lord Hart's hand. This is why I went for Might cards instead. And we still have 2 more movement points to spend. Let's flag this with a black cube. We are collecting 3 more gold. We have 9. And let's step here just to be more flexible if we want to take the fight versus settlement next turn or not. And then secondary hero. The only level 2 thing we can profit from is basically the magic spring, which is not entirely useless, but do we want to start moving towards this? Actually, yes, because at the end of turn 7 we will be here, and then turn 8 these will be removed. So yes, I think that settles it. Okay, that was the end of round 6. So the Astrologer's card is still in effection. Each hero gains +1 movement. So as round 7 comes, we will have 4 and 3 movement points. Therefore, I'm not going to use the City Hall plus movement point action. 5 gold is perfectly fine. 15 gold, therefore, is our gain. And 2 building materials. We have 5. We need 6 for the silver though, and we don't have a trading post, so the same old situation. We can hire creatures though, and we can draw up to our hand limit. So we are going to shuffle the discard pile because our hand limit is 5 now. So we can draw 1 more card. Spell power. Once again, we don't have a spell. Let's use the Estates card to gain 2 gold. That is a dead weight in our hand. We gain, not lose, sorry. Yeah, so now we have 26. So just a little detour. I know people who are playing this game with the house rule of if you have a town or like a town, you can use marketplace with standard rates, but that goes against the normal approach. In this game, you can only trade if you are visiting a trading post. I know about the like in the video game with verse rates. If you only have one town, you can actually trade, but I don't have that house rule. So in this particular situation, trading in the town would be very useful, but I forgot to put a black cube on this, but I do not allow myself to do that, which means we either buy the citadel, which we can actually afford, and then we can spend 9 gold to reinforce our units, and then level 3 would mean 1 bronze, 2 silver, with 3 relatively good cards in our hand. Can we boost our hand even more? Not really, because the only thing we can use from the Magic Spring is getting back the Estates card back to our hand. And we can't visit this field during the battle, so let's say we use this in turn 1, then secondary hero goes there, we get it back to our hand. It's not an option, you can't do that. We could also pay some gold to get some more artifact. That's not a bad approach. The question is, how much do we need to pay? For that I need to go to the time, I think it's, what's this name? Market of Time, I think, or sorry, Black Market. This is actually Black Market. Look at the top 4 cards from the artifact artifact discard pile. You may buy one of them for 5 if it is a minor, 7 if it is a major, and 10 if it is a relic artifact. Okay, so for 5 we could take this, which helps us, which helps a lot with the griffins, right? Griffins could do unlimited retaliation, so if we put them to the right position, let's see their other side. Is it free attack? Yeah, they could do free attack over and over again. The problem is we will have 2 silver unit opponents, and they can easily have 2 defense. And that is very difficult to overcome. Sorry, if your units have maximum like free attack. The halberdiers, if we upgrade them, it's also free. Yeah, but probably, most likely, that's the only reasonable thing to do. So let's see the gold situation. If we buy the citadel, 8 gold, 5 building material, and 1 valuable. We either wait 1 more turn, which I hate to do, and then somehow try to ensure we can get access to more building materials with the black cubes are going off. I think we need to go for it right now. We have movement points to extend the fight. We have cards to protect our most valuable unit. So let's see how much gold. 8 gold. So 8 gold. We have 18 left. Griffins would cost 6, halberdiers 3, so all in all 9. We can buy that artifact if we want for 5. Not sure it's worth it, but fits to the concept, I guess. We could buy the Mage Guild, that's also an option. And then Inferno plus 1 more spell we could put it in our hand. Maybe that's the best course of action we can do. But then, I don't like that either, to be honest, because our units still have 2 attack and silver opponents can easily have 2 defense. And spells can go around it, but Inferno is not that good of a spell. And the other spell is a big question. So at this point, let's just check. Inferno, select a space, now roll an attack die. All units on this and the adjacent space take 1 damage for every +1 rolled. So if I boost it with 2 spell power, I can roll 4 times. The question, how many +1 do I roll? It's pure luck. I can also get the option that I ignore Inferno and then I can take 2 more spells into my hand. And then I can boost with spell power. I can also have the expert effect, which is back. But no, I don't like that idea. So instead, let's buy the citadel. That's 8 gold, 5 building material, all of my building material. So it's here, and only 1 valuable. At least it gives you the feeling of making some progress, which I certainly feel I'm a bit stuck behind. So no more town action in this particular round. And then let's spend 9 gold to reinforce our units. 9 gold. 6 for the griffins and 3 for the halberdiers. And let's use their little, or not so little, models. So okay, now we have 3 upgraded bronze units. Do I want to spend 5 on the buckler of the Knoll King? I would use it as 1 defense. I would not use it as 2 defense, because that would make my units attack lower, which is definitely something I will most probably want to avoid. Or the Spirit of Oppression is not useful for us, unfortunately. I think the answer is no. We tried to go with these cards. I can use this card and then discard a spell power, so it will give us 3 defense in 1 particular turn. This can be used as attack. I can use my expert on this one, so +2 defense. If I position my griffin properly, I can extend the fight and I can preserve griffin and it will keep doing retaliation. That's the plan. But maybe I would need to buy the buckler of the Knoll King for that. I have 9 gold, 4 wood left. No, we risk it. Okay, so 2 more golds I can actually collect, but no. So 1 movement point, I visit this field. And let's trigger that fight versus 1 bronze, 2 silver. This will be particularly tough. So I'm going to strengthen up myself. Okay, let's shuffle the silver deck. We have movement points to spend, so let's not forget that. 3 additional rounds. Gorgons with 2 defense and Basilisk with 1 defense. Gorgons are nightmare. Basilisks are okay actually, this way, because that was the order of draw. And they have the same initiative. And then let's just shuffle once more the bronze. Please, like peasants or, I don't know, halberdiers or something slow. Well, not Cerberus, not for sure. 8 initiative, okay? And no retaliation. Griffins are the fastest. No range units, that's good. Because there is no retaliation versus the Cerberus, we would need to wipe them first, I think. So Ballista, at the beginning of each combat round, deal 1 to the slowest, so that must be the Gorgons. However, Cerberus attack is only 2, so with the defense, problem is if I come here with the Griffins, then Cerberus could immediately attack my Griffins and the Halberdiers from here. So I think what we need to do with the Griffins is 1, 2, 3, attack the Gorgons. I want the Gorgons out of this fight because they are the only one having 2 defense. Okay, so I'm going with 3 attack. In this case, I'm going to use Dragon Scale Shield 5 attack. And let's see the roll. 6 attack versus 2 defense. Gorgons are off. Great. Okay. Now Cerberus activate. They are bronze unit. They need to decide to go up and attack the griffin or down and attack the halberdier. So +1 is up, -1 is down. They go up. Do I want to use a defense card? They can't wipe out my griffins, so no. Not for this particular fight. 3 damage goes in. I don't like that, but that's what happened. No retaliation. Okay, so now marksmen come. Do I want to shoot on the Cerberus with a ranged penalty or shooting at the basilisk who have 1 defense? That's a big question. Can't use any of my cards. I mean, if I shoot the Cerberus, worst case I can deal like 5 damage to them. Okay, this is what's gonna happen. If I shoot on the Cerberus and then with the halberdiers I go for the Cerberus, I can actually most likely wipe them out. So let's do that. So marksman with... Okay, and then I'm going to protect my griffins versus the basilisk with all the defense I can put on it, which is 5 defense. Which is guaranteeing that it will survive the basilisk's hit. Then the griffins retaliate, and then the griffins attack, and then the marksmen attack, and then the halberdiers attack, and then we can wipe out the basilisk in the 2nd round with the ballista's help. Okay, so marksmen are going to shoot on the Cerberus. So that will be an unpleasant roll because of the combat penalty, but we can shoot twice. So shoot number 1 is a -1, so 1 damage goes in. Shoot number 2 is also -1. That's okay. And now there is an initiative tie between the basilisk and the halberdiers. So halberdiers come next. And when the unit is targeted by any attack, okay, it's not targeted, so we can't use it. We need to roll a 0 or a +1 to wipe out the Cerberus. Okay, 4. So that's good. Cerberus are off because 3 damage would have been enough. They have 4 damage, so Cerberus are defeated. Now, basilisks are going to come here and roll a die to decide +1, -1. Okay, they go for the griffin. We put the sentinel's shields with 3 defense, discard the spell power, and we use our expert on this card to 100% probability ensure the griffins will not be killed off or flip to the few side. So that's 5 defense on the griffins. Now the basilisk attack. 4 + 0 is 4 versus 5 defense. No damage goes in. And now the griffins get to retaliate, but I immediately remove because they have unlimited retaliation. That's also a +1. So 3 + 1 is versus 1 defense. 3 damage goes in. Now we need to extend the fight, and the ballista activates at the beginning of each combat round. Deal 1 damage. Basilisk is the only enemy. Damage 1. Assigned to them. 4 damage is enough to kill. So basilisks are now defeated. Wow. That was tough, but productive. Whew. So that was a level 3 fight. Half step up. And now we make the somewhat painful decision to go for more building materials. We would need 15. We only have 2. And the income is also, we only have 0 and the income is 2. But we don't have a valuable production either. And there is no valuable mine. There is a building material mine here, but without silver units, I don't think it's possible to beat level 4 enemies. Level 3 was sweating. I could also reinforce, but there is nothing to reinforce, so no. So let's see, we would need 7 valuables. We have 3 and we can get access to 1 more, 4. Yeah, that will also be a scarce situation. Yeah, because there are 2 building material mines here, I need to go for valuable. There is no better thing to do. So yeah, let's use it as a valuable production. We get 1, and once we are level 4, we can double up immediately our building material production, and we will be level 4 next turn because black cube will be removed from the learning stone. Okay, so we have 2 more movements to spend. There is just 1. I'm going to spend coming here and waiting here for the rest of the turn, and then secondary hero will go 3 movement points, 1, 2, 3, visit this magic spring and bring back the sentinel shields to our hand from the top 3 discard card. This is a very good card, we need it for the upcoming fights as well. And that's it. Round 7 is now officially over. And then I'm going to pause here the video. That was the first half. And then let's continue with the second half in the next video. Thank you for joining.